Good evening, live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. Here we present to you tonight's news bulletin. But first, the headlines. The celebrations of Eid Al Adha continue amid various festivities and activities. Pilgrims to the sacred house of Allah begin to leave Mecca after completing Hajj rituals. And the ongoing Israeli attacks continue to target refugee camps in Gaza, and the United Nations affirms that Israel is systematically violating the laws of war. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The celebrations of the blessed Eid Al Adha continue across all governorates of the Sultanate of Oman. In the third day of the Eid, a number of wilayats witness various activities like equestrian shows, camel races, in addition to other cultural and heritage activities. On this special occasion, citizens also visit their relatives in order to exchange Eid greetings. The touristic movement becomes more active during Eid leave as citizens visit natural landmarks, park, as well as cultural and commercial centers for recreation. In the governorate of North Al-Batna, citizens and residents expressed their joy over the blessed Eid Al-Adha amid various festivities, including traditional music like Razva, which reflects the happiness and cheerfulness in Eid. Such traditional arts usually include the lyrics about love, belonging, and loyalty to the homeland. People of North Al-Batna also partake in other traditional customs during Eid, such as family gatherings and visiting relatives and friends. Similarly, people of South Al-Batna are rejoicing over Eid with varied festivities, including traditional arts, special foods for this happy occasion, and children's activities. The traditional arts enjoyed in the governorate during special occasions include Al-Razha, Al-Azi, as well as Bedouin and marine arts that reflect an authentic heritage. People of the governorate enjoy all these activities and more while dressing in traditional Omani clothes that reflect the identity of Omani society. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and later to come in our news bulletin, Omanis are savoring a delectable Shuwa feast as part of Eid celebrations. Once again, welcome to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Pilgrims to the sacred house of Allah began to leave Mecca after performing Hajj rituals amid an integrated system of services that contributed to their performance of the fifth pillar of Islam in an atmosphere of safety, security and tranquility. Yesterday, the hard pilgrims finished their rituals after stoning the three Jamarat and leaving Mina before noon, then performing the farewell tawaf, which is the last of the Hajj duties. The movement of the guest of the Most Merciful at the Jamarat bridge was characterized by a gradual and safe flow in batches, and the Grand Mosque also witnessed the influx of a large number of pilgrims to perform the farewell tawaf. International news. The ongoing Israeli attacks on the Gaza Strip had resulted in 37,396 Palestinians' deaths and 85,452 injuries, Gazan health authorities said in a press statement. According to the health authorities, the Israeli military operation in Gaza over the past 24 hours led to 25 deaths and 80 injuries. Meanwhile, Palestinian media reported that the Israeli airstrikes killed at least 17 Palestinians in two refugee camps in Gaza Strip, the Nusayrat and Bureij refugee camps, from Monday midnight to Tuesday. One of the airstrikes killed at least 10 Palestinians, including women and children. Israeli forces have repeatedly violated fundamental principles of the laws of war and failed to distinguish between civilians and fighters in their Gaza Strip military campaign, the United Nations Human Rights Office said today. In a report assessing 6 Israeli attacks that caused a high number of casualties and destruction of civilian infrastructure, the United Nations Human Rights Office said Israeli forces may have systematically violated the principles of distinction, proportionality, and precautions in attack. The report details 6 incidents that took place between October 7th and December 2nd, in which the United Nations Human Rights Office was able to assess the kinds of weapons, the means, and the methods used in these attacks. Israel's air and ground offensive has killed more than 37,000 people in Palestinian territory, according to health authorities. The leaders of North Korea and Russia signed an agreement that deepens their military cooperation to include a mutual defense pledge to help each other if attacked, with the North's Kim Jong-un calling the new ties an alliance. Kim spoke at a rare press conference following his meeting with President Vladimir Putin in Pyongyang, announcing the signing of a comprehensive strategic partnership that the Russian leader said include defensive elements. Putin said the comprehensive partnership agreement signed today provides, among other things, for mutual assistance in the event of aggression against one of the parties to this agreement. Russia launched nearly 24 attack drones towards western Ukraine overnight and damaged energy facilities near the border and in the center of the war-battered country. The latest bombardment of energy infrastructure comes after officials announced rolling blackouts throughout the day to limit pressure on the grid in the wake of devastating Russian attacks on Ukrainian power plants. Meanwhile, President Vladimir Zelensky said Russian drone and missiles attacks had cut Ukraine's electricity generation capacity by half compared to 1 year ago. He has called on allies to send more air defense systems to Ukraine to fend off systematic attacks on critical infrastructure. The Kremlin said its forces do not target civilians or civilian infrastructure, but the Russian military has said it carries out retaliatory attacks on energy facilities. A very special thing to do with Eid, the Omani Shuwa, is a traditional dish especially made during Eid. This local cuisine is one of the fundamental parts of Omani Eid celebration customs. More details in this report.
The traditional Omani Shuwa is deeply ingrained in Oman's rich heritage and has been cherished across generations, especially during the festive Eid celebrations. On the first day of Eid, families set aside portions of meat to make sure they work together to season the meat with their special homemade blend called tabzira, which is primarily used for the Shuwa meat. Afterwards, they wrap the seasoned meat with banana leaves, put it into the palm frond container and seal it. Then, the men take the wrapped Shuwa to the barbecue site, usually a public underground furnace called a tannoor, to bury the seasoned meat, where they keep it cooked slowly for up to 48 hours. On the third day of Eid, people will gather around the tannoor to extract the wrapped meat while chanting local melodies related to Shuwa extraction in a manner that shows compassion, solidarity, and care among members of the community. Families will then take the palm frond container home, where they unbag the Shuwa meat and feast on the delicious Shuwa meat amid the festivity of Eid vibes. From the Wilaya of Nizwa, this is Salih Bukhalfan al-Rahbi, Al-Dakhiliya, Governorate.
Now, to conclude this news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The celebrations of Eid Al Adha continue amid various festivities and activities. Pilgrims to the sacred house of Allah begin to leave Mecca after completing Hajj rituals. And the ongoing Israeli attacks continue to target refugee camps in Gaza, and the United Nations affirms that Israel is systematically violating the laws of war. And as we conclude the third day of Eid Al Adha tonight, I hope everyone has cherished moments with their loved ones, with a family, friends, or even at work. May these days have been filled with joy and blessings from all of us and the entire news team here. We thank you for joining us, and we say good night to you all.